Now, your 13 first alert weather forecast.
Well, it's not too often in July where we have temperatures in the 40s, but this morning, while this was a little bit warmer than where we were yesterday, we did have temperatures that were in the 40s, mostly confined to our lower elevations and a little further towards the north. But remember, we had a lot more 40s on the board yesterday, and this is what I like to call a very rare July treat, because these cooler temperatures come as a result of some of the drier air that's been in place. And we haven't had very warm temperatures. We've stayed below average for the most part over the last couple of days. Today, inching a little closer to that, of course, but still not very much humidity. That will start to change going into this weekend, however, as we get more of that low-level moisture working its way in, which will eventually result in a few chances for some showers and storms returning to the Chippewa Valley. Now, with this dry stretch, this did put us in a deficit, if you will. We're still pretty close to where we should be for the month of July thus far, as we are about 2/3 of the way through, of course. But for the year, well, we're just shy of 21 inches. Now, this does account for some of the snow melt earlier towards early March as well. But overall, we're about 3 inches above where we should be in terms of moisture. So again, we'll have some of those chances returning. But temperature is going to be pretty seasonable. And so far in July, we have stayed on the cooler side of average when accounting for both high and low temperatures. But we'll inch, again, a little closer to average for this afternoon as compared to yesterday or the day prior, as we are climbing near 80. Now, just for reference, our average high this time of year in the Chippewa Valley is 83 degrees. We'll have a few intervals of clouds and sun, as we saw on our Nicolay Bank sky cam over Hastings Way. Most of us in the 70s across the viewing area, 77 both in Eau Claire and Menominee, a little bit cooler off towards the northeast, with Medford checking in at 72 degrees. Now, as high pressure departs the area, this is where we have those winds starting to pick up a little bit more out of the southwest. That's helping to bring in a little bit more of that low-level moisture. Dew points, however, are still comfortable for the time being, as most of us are in the 50s. There's a couple 60s a little further towards the west. That starts to become a little bit more noticeable in terms of humidity, but tomorrow, Sunday, dew points likely returning to the low, if not mid-60s in a few locations, so we'll call that noticeable humidity. And that takes us into about middle of next week, so we'll have a few of those chances at some pop-up showers and storms that'll be fueled by some of that daytime heating. Aside from those clouds that popped up over the last couple of hours, things have stayed largely dry across the Badger State. Nothing really showing up on the satellite and radar, as will be the case for the afternoon. Now, later tonight, as we have more of that low-level moisture working in, may have a spotty chance at a shower, may have some patchy fog developing as well. But going into tomorrow afternoon, this is where we have a front that'll slide further towards the south, may bring an isolated shower or storm to the Chippewa Valley, but areas south of I-94 likely going to stay dry. Looking ahead to Sunday, though, with that air mass still in place, once we get a little bit of that daytime heating going into Sunday afternoon, that's where we'll have a few of those chances at some pop-up showers and storms. For today, however, mostly around the 80-degree mark, so pretty close to average with intervals of clouds and sun, and staying dry for today. Later tonight, falling to the low to mid-60s, so going to be milder than we saw this morning and especially the last couple of mornings. And in the Coulee region, we have that gradual warming trend, still mostly in the low 80s with that humidity building in. Those chances for some showers and storms take us through about the middle of next week before we get that next pattern change on Thursday, giving us a little bit more sunshine with temperatures in the low 80s. Now, for a Sunshine Award, Miranda would like to nominate Brittany and says she is selfless in every way. She goes above and beyond for those she loves, especially her 4 children. She's a hard worker, an amazing friend, and an even more amazing mother. Brittany doesn't stop and ask questions when someone needs her. She acts without any hesitation, and I wish everyone had a Brittany in their life. Now, if you'd like to nominate someone, send us an email or head over to our website at WEAU.com.
So getting back into that humidity a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Not like in July's past where we get that kind of tropical sort of feeling.
Right. Gross, so to speak.
Gross, tropical, whatever you want to call it. This is going to be noticeable, maybe a little sticky, but not the worst we've ever seen.
Got it. All right. Thanks, Mike.